Now let's start, shall we? Alright, I'm on the 18 plus because I want to debate about this with actual adults, not just children, you know. Change my seat real quick. And now we wait. That's all there is to it. We wait.
You need me a freak that's gon' ride that meat. She like it when it.
Whoa. Alright, first of all, copyright and yeah, that's copyright and audio and shit. That's that's a very provocative song. I wish I could put on some music, but it's I wish I could put on some music, but this is YouTube, it's not Twitch. I might wait, I think we have a viewer. Oh, it's my screen is not even showing. I'll need to fix that real quick. My screen is not showing. That's really weird. What the fuck? Oh, we have to use the window capture for Roblox. Like that. Oh yeah. Yo, welcome in, sir.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man? It's what's
How
your
you doing?
I'm good, how about you?
I'm doing fine myself. I can't really hear you. You're whispering.
Oh yeah. I got people in here trying to sleep. So what's
Oh, okay.
your religious beliefs?
I consider myself a Christian.
What denomination?
I don't really specify what denomination I am, but I am Baptist leaning.
Yeah, I went to the Baptist church as a kid a few times.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah, it was great. And
That's cool.
yeah, I really don't believe in the whole denomination like separate
Yes,
us.
exactly. That's why the epistles by Paul were written, because the
For
church was
real.
so divided.
Yeah, they should all just unite and like, cause like all that's needed to go into heaven is we just need to accept Jesus into our heart.
Yeah, exactly. Can I ask you a question?
Sure,
Okay. Do you believe hell is eternal?
I believe it. It is eternal. It's yeah,
Okay. So would you say that God's desire is for everyone to be saved?
yeah. He wants us all to confess that He's Lord, so that we will be saved.
So if he desires all to be saved, then wouldn't that mean his desire would be fulfilled and everyone will be saved?
Well, it's a choice. Like we we don't have to
Yeah, it is a
accept.
choice.
Yeah, hell is just a place for people that don't accept Him. Like uh, if we're like, it's like this way. Like there's a man, and like if if you're his friend, like if you two are buddies, he'll let you in. If he doesn't know you at all, then you might not get in. That's how it is with God.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you. I'm gonna have to go. I'll see you later, though, if I see you online again. Bye bye.
Alright, see ya. What is up,
Hello?
Sonny? What's up?
Why are you whispering?
People in my house are trying to sleep right now.
You're scaring me.
What are your religious beliefs, though?
Am I a religious believer?
Yeah, what's your beliefs?
I honestly can't hear you.
What's your beliefs?
I'm a Christian. What are yours?
Oh, me too. What kind of denomination are you?
I'm a Roman Catholic, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't agree with the Catholic Church. But I am a Christian still.
Yeah, I don't agree with the community. Pray to the saints. I kind of see it as idolatry.
Uh yeah, I guess I agree with that.
Yeah,
But what's your denomination?
mine. Uh,
Yeah.
I went to Baptist churches as a kid, but like I'm kind of drifting towards non-denominational because like I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
just I think denominations just divide us. Is what it does.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, and we don't need divisions. Like we're all children of the Lord.
Yeah.
Seems like this guy wants to come up.
Mhm.
Yo, I just have one question. Why are we whispering?
Oh yeah, people
I have
in my
no
house are
idea.
trying to sleep. Hey Benjamin, so I'm gonna guess
Yeah,
that are you
I'm Benjamin.
Benjamins?
Hey, hi, bro.
Are you Jewish by chance?
Yeah, I'm Jewish, bro.
So like you don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah?
I don't
What do
know
you
comment on that.
What do you think of Jesus? What's your opinion on him?
He was a pretty fly guy.
What's like
Fly.
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what the Jewish religion is all about. Can you like give like a brief explanation?
Oh, so Jewish
Okay, get back.
people. It's like Jewish people is it's the religion that they used to follow like before Christianity. Like it's the
I
same
mean, yeah, I
God.
read about that in the Bible, but I mean like the modern Jewish religion, like what is that about? Because I know it's definitely different from back then. Otherwise, we'd still be following it.
the modern I think it's where I think today the modern Judaism they still get circumcised and like they have these bar mitzvahs. I don't know what that's about. It's like I'm Christian.
Oh,
I don't really know much about Judaism.
interesting.
Yeah. My friend Cassie's message. Yeah, I've been thinking
What are
of
your thoughts on the
on what?
what? Wait, finish what you were gonna say.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
What are you saying?
I was gonna ask what's your opinion on AB.
New
On AB,
AB.
abortion.
Oh, uh, I don't really rock with that. Uh, I think that it's wrong in that it's like a sacrifice towards God's children. And yeah,
Would you ever adopt a child?
I I would adopt a child. Yeah.
Interesting. There are a lot of Christians that disagree with AB, and they are pro-lifers, but they're opposed to the idea of adopting children.
Yeah. Kind of depends. Cause with some people, they prefer to raise children of their own, like biological children. Like
Hmm.
I can do
I mean, that's
both.
not a bad thing. That's definitely good, but yeah, it's also nice to give a chance to someone else, especially people that can't have kids of their own. You know.
Yeah. I'm seeing if I could like get some of my friends up in here. You know, I'm friends with a lot of sinners, and like I want to bring the word to them too. Like, cause
I
you
am
know,
as well, but I find it really hard to open up about my religion and just like try to help them because I don't know. I'm looking kind of scared.
well, uh, well, I recommend talking about your religion to them, telling them about Jesus. If they stop being friends with you over your beliefs, maybe they're not true friends.
Yeah. I mean, that's not really the part that I'm scared about. I'm never upset about someone, like not being my friend anymore. But like in the past, when I did muster up the courage to like give people advice, like biblical advice, and like help them and talk to them about Jesus Christ and stuff like that, they like they didn't stop being my friend, but they laughed in my face, but they like didn't take me serious at all.
Well, well, the thing is, Jesus doesn't. He doesn't want you to care about what people think about you. Like, all you have to do is
Yeah,
like,
I know. I'm like trying to get over that like really badly.
yeah, uh, yeah, you shouldn't care if they make fun of you. They're, it's their laws if they choose to make fun of you over that. We got another person in here. I think they're
The
Christians.
cow!
Oh, what? What was that?
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I still had that soundboard on.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
had my volume at 100.
I'm so sorry. Here, I'll change it. Hang on.
You're good, bro. You're good.
A good one. I have one that I actually like love.
Seems all three of us
Here
are
we go.
Christians here.
Yeah, I want to debate a Muslim.
Me too.
I'm like actually pro at it. I know how to disprove Islam really quickly.
Yeah, the Mohammed thing. Married a girl at 6. And
We married her when she was 6, consummated the marriage at 9. The biggest question I always ask them, because they always say, "Oh, she was mature. She had her period, all this kind of stuff." I always ask them, "Would you marry a 9-year-old if she had her period?" And they always say, "Yeah, that's fine." Freaking weirdos.
we should see what beliefs this guy has. Hey, Rafiki, what's your beliefs?
Why are we whispering?
Um, I, we just my family's trying to sleep right now, so yeah, that's why.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm not whispering. What are your beliefs?
Any specific
I'm sorry,
religious
guys.
beliefs you hold?
If you're atheist, I can debate you too. Are you atheist?
I believe in Jesus.
Oh, you're Christian. Why is everybody Christian?
For a lot,
Wait, that's a good.
I've been trying to like find atheists and Muslims and Jews, all sorts of people to debate with.
Lori! Hi, Lori. I love you so much. Sorry, guys. Lori's like my favorite person on this app.
What's Lori's beliefs?
I'm pretty sure you're. Have you fully converted to Christianity or are you still agnostic?
Um, I wouldn't say I'm like I would consider myself Christian, but I consider myself agnostic theist still. Hi, Adria.
Yeah, we love Lori. Lori is amazing.
I mean, it's a big difference from how not a massive difference, but you know, there's
It's a big difference from how I met you.
Yeah.
Because I met you and you were like straight up just atheist.
Yeah.
Now you're turning to the light side. Still dying. It's okay.
Is everybody in here Christian? Well, on like the podium.
Yeah.
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 I still don't know why we're whispering.
Wait, so Tay, you've been converting her. You've been converting Tay.
I haven't like been converting her, but we've had a couple talks about Christianity and stuff. Basing off of her morals and her ideologies and stuff, they do kind of align a lot more with Christianity versus other religions and stuff. Yeah. I was actually shocked when I got told that she was thinking about converting, so I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh,
I got so happy.
You're better at converting than me.
I've converted like 4 people on accident without realizing it. 3 people on this app, 1 person on Omegle, and then like a couple of my friends.
No, yeah, it's been like 4 people in here who have been like very adamant on me like converting to Christianity.
I'm letting you do it on your own time, because if you do convert, oh my gosh, I will absolutely like be so happy for you. So I will literally like send you a personalized cross necklace. I will literally learn how to make jewelry just for you. So like I'm not gonna be that kind of pushy Christian that's like, well, have you converted yet? Have you converted yet? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna like convert you right now. Like, no. I'll let you take your time on it, because that's what happened with me. I took my time and now I'm like really heartfelt into it. English with heartfelt into it.
No, yeah.
I saw someone raising their hand earlier. I'm gonna let them up here.
Holy.
That kid.
Nalini, you got any beliefs? Any religious beliefs?
Oh,
I guess not. Anybody else want to come up?
agnostic atheist.
You kind of sounded British. Oh my god.
I'm gonna bring her up.
Sorry, I'm like dying. Still barely have a voice, but at least you guys can hear me.
What's good? What's good, Lori?
Hi, Adriel.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
Hi.
All right. Well, I don't really do theological topics. I just, yeah.
So, do you have
It's
like
alright.
a reasoning for your beliefs and what may have started those
Yeah.
beliefs?
Yeah. So for me personally, I just do not find myself, um, not like worshiping, but like I don't see myself seeing any reason for a higher God or like any sort of like higher, like, omnipotent being. I don't see like I don't have any sort of spiritual beliefs. I don't believe in astrology. I don't believe in like spirits or spirituality. I don't believe in anything. I just primarily believe that like, we came like we like a lot of like chemical compounds came together, and like somehow, some way we became a very evolution like that's a really hard word. I forgot what I was saying. We became a very evolved species. Um, and like it wasn't because something was pushing us toward that direction. Like no God was pushing us in that direction. I just think that it was just something that happened instead of like something that was promised or something that was meant to happen, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, like when it comes to Christianity, Christianity wasn't really created like God and stuff. He didn't just create us as like a promise, I guess, because he created us in 6 days. I mean, like he started with the heavens and the earth, and then animals, all this kind of stuff. But there's definitely. So, would you say you take more of like the scientific aspect to things?
Yeah, I would say that I take the more scientific aspect out of everything.
Okay, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try my best not to like be like that crazy Christian. Because there's a couple things I can kind of go off of when it comes to science. The main thing would kind of be, I would say, the teleological argument, which is fine tuning and stuff like that, which two atheists further proved how precise our universe is, and having that just happen by probability and just out of nowhere from, hydrogen and helium being able to come together, create enough heat and radiation to explode into everything, kind of doesn't make a lot of sense when you look at the, chance of it. So atheist scientist Sir Roger Penrose, who calculated the probability of the universe having this precise of a design being 10 billion to the 123rd power. Also, I'm reading off of my notes that I have in my notebook. So that's why it makes I'm like AI right now.
No, you're fine. You're good.
But then atheist scientist Stephen Hawking stated in his book The Brief History of Time that at the moment of the Big Bang, if the expansion rate of the universe was different by even 1/100,000 millionth of a percent, that the universe would collapse back in on itself. So our existence alone is a 400 trillion to 1 odd. That happening just by chance seems a little iffy to me. And I'm not trying to push my beliefs on you or anything like that. Just kind of stating from my personal perspective, it does seem a little iffy that we're at this perfect point in the universe to be able to be substantial for life, or to have everything around us in this complex design.
Yeah, and like I think the best thing that I would say to that is that like a lot of people think that like when we're talking about life or just like the creation of the universe itself, that everything is inherent, like it was perfectly created, and like we are like we're in like a perfect spot when we're talking about how the universe was created, and like all of like the theories and theoretical like science like aspects of it. In reality, we actually are in a we're in a really really weird place when it comes to the universe. Like the best way that I can think of it is like, like think of like a trampoline, but like there's like a really really heavy rock in the middle, and it's just pulling the middle of the trampoline completely down to the ground. And then there's this other ball that is like we'll say that this ball, this like soccer ball, is our universe, right? This ball is sitting directly in like this little pocket right next to that giant hole. Like we are theoretically, we are not in a perfect universal condition. We have a lot of things that just happen. Like, and I understand like the probability of like everything in the sense of like, you know, like how crazy, like in the sense of like how like the percentage of the universe becoming a thing and like us becoming a thing is a very, very small percentage. But we also have to realize that the universe itself, I'm also not trying to convert you, I'm just trying to say my standpoint. It's just like, yeah, like it, I'm trying to think of how to say this, but like when it comes to the universe, it is, in my eyes, when I think of the universe, it is this infinite, it's like infinite, but it's also finite at the same time. It's like, I cannot explain, like that's like one of the more like, I wouldn't say spiritual stuff about me, but like I just like in the sense of the universe, yeah, it's really hard to like debate theology. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it took me probably 6 years to actually learn a lot of stuff to kind of know how to debate theology and stuff. The one thing I still, for some reason, cannot learn for the life of me is philosophy. It's one thing that I struggle with.
I love philosophy. Oh my god.
Philosophy. I'm like, I know a couple people, and Lori knows this guy. His name is Zep. He is like a philosophy nerd when it comes to religion and stuff like that, like religious philosophy. I cannot learn it for some reason. My brain just completely tunes it out. But when it comes to that, I would say when it comes to the universe being infinite, I can definitely understand where you're coming from on a more, even from a Christian standpoint. It doesn't seem infinite. It seems more like finite and stuff like that. The only thing is that the Big Bang would kind of disagree with that because of the expansion of the universe. So if the universe is constantly expanding 24/7, every second of every single day, millisecond, everything like that, it's like, how can it expand if there's no end to it? It would have to be infinite in order to continue to expand. Definitely, I was a big like space nerd and stuff like that. One thing that kind of got on my nerves was, or one thing that always kind of stuck out to me was black holes. So I'm just thinking, this is like conspiracy theory, I guess. The black holes, what if those are the reason why our universe is expanding so much and doesn't have an end? What if our universe truly does have an end, but these black holes, which are just infinite voids of absolute nothingness, what if that's the reason why there's universe, the infinite idea of the universe? There's definitely a lot of things about space that are a big mystery.
Isn't Big Bang just a theory, though?
Yeah,
So,
it's just one of many.
Yeah,
but
so
it's
when it comes
logical.
when it comes to the Big Bang Theory, it's primarily just the creation of the universe aspect that is a theory. We do know 100% that the universe is expanding, basing off of CMBR, you know, all this, like CMBR is cosmic microwave background radiation and stuff. Galaxy clusters, all this kind of stuff. We have so much evidence and proof that the universe is expanding 100%. It's just the creation aspect of the universe when it comes to the Big Bang. That's the theory. That was actually created by a Catholic priest using evidence from Genesis. Fun fact.
Yeah, I mean, I was just wondering. I don't really know too much about space or the Big Bang Theory, but
yeah, I mean,
I
was a big nerd when it came to that kind of stuff.
But I'm definitely a Christian who believes in God for sure. So.
Me too. Yeah, we're just kind of having a nice, friendly discussion, I guess. I wouldn't even call this really a debate. We're just kind of going off of different understanding.
Yeah, because like for me, when it comes to debates, I really don't debate stuff that like I do not know fundamentally.
Oh,
like,
yeah. If you really want to debate, sorry, you go.
No, you're good. No, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because if you really want to debate, there's people in servers that legit debate if men are worthless, and they are. I don't know if you've seen some of those servers, but they are crazy.
I've seen and like I've been a part of those servers. Like I've been into plenty of debate servers. For me, like when it comes to that like specific topic, I wouldn't say that men or women are like worthless. Like that, like for me, worth and purpose is just like individual. Like it's like that's also like another reason that like I don't specifically believe in anything. It's that I strive all of my like purpose and my like whatever I'm doing is strictly what I want to do on my own and not like because a divine being is telling me that this is the path that I must choose. It's strictly just what I'm choosing for myself.
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean that's a valid point.
Yeah, even my mom is like that. I was not, I'm gonna point this out right now. I was not raised Christian whatsoever. My mom believes that Lucifer is running heaven. Don't know where that kind of came in. But
That's crazy.
so there's this whole thing in my house. I'm the only Christian in my family, and I had to find it all out on my own. And once I did, the things in this world made so much more sense to me once I actually understood Christianity and didn't just think of it
Exactly.
like a sky daddy thing. But
Yeah.
there's definitely
And yeah.
difference. Sorry.
No, you're good. I think that's like the honestly, like regardless of like me not being religious, I think that's the beauty of religion. Like, it's the fact of like, or just like the to and from religion. Like, it's just like we find purpose like when we're talking about religion specifically, like how like people talk about religion or like how God helped them in like so many ways. It's like it's genuinely a beautiful thing in my eyes. Like even if I don't like personally believe in it, I think that like if religion is helping somebody uh positively and like it's like I don't see any reason to like stop them from doing so.
Exactly. And there's obviously going to be Christians, and I'm not even just going to say Christians. There's going to be religious people regardless who are going to spread this hateful message and stuff like that, try and force you into things, say, oh, you're going to burn in this endless lake of fire if you don't follow Christianity, all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, they spread this misinformation that genuinely there's this narrative now that goes around about Christians, no hate like Christian love. And it's just like Christianity, it's not what people make it out to be. It is such a beautiful religion. It tells you to love thy neighbor, pray for those who persecute against you, love the sinner, not the sin, all this kind of stuff. So it's like people need to understand you're not going to go burn in a lake of fire just because you're an atheist. Like that's such a lie.
Amen.
Sorry.
No, you're good. All I said was amen.
Oh. But like we have to look at the factor, like even when it comes to the Bible describes 5 main departments of hell. It doesn't simply just like people take the verses from the book of Revelations and Leviticus, or not Leviticus, I think it's Deuteronomy, that describes a burning lake of endless fire, but they don't look at the other aspects that describes what hell is. Hell is simply just the eternal separation, like the horrible god-awful people, like child preds, all this kind of stuff, that still choose to reject God and stuff like that, the blasphemers, all this kind of stuff. Those are the people that are going to be put in the burning lake of fire. But just your average atheist who lived a good life, was respectful, kind, all this kind of stuff, it's just an eternal separation. Because why would you go your entire life denying him and then want to spend an eternity with him? So no, instead, he respects and loves your decision so much that he eternally separates himself from you. It's not like you're just going to burn.
Okay.
So it's like,
yeah.
Don't trust or take what these, I'm going to say lukewarms because I'm not going to call them fake Christians, but the lukewarms who lack the understanding of Christianity so much that they don't spread the truth of it, and instead they spread this kind of fear and this narrative about it that just puts this fear into people. Don't trust those ones. Once you find the actual true ones that have understood the Bible and understood what the religion actually preaches about, those are the ones that you'd want to actually kind of get your information from.
Yeah, totally. And like, I do definitely
Yeah,
want
that
to get
was
more
very
into
well
theology.
spoken.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. It's very clear that like you've definitely done like your research, like in regards to, and I props you for
For
that, like
sure.
genuinely. And I do genuinely want to look more in depth into theology, just from like an outsider standpoint, like
Mhm.
whether or not like I read the Bible just to like read it so I can understand it more, or just like going more into theology in and of itself, because it is definitely a really, really interesting like topic. And again, like regardless of my like personal beliefs, like whatever someone else does, like whatever their religious beliefs is it's not really my problem unless like it directly affects me or people that I love, like personally. But like I've only had that like a handful of times, and I'm not going to say that's every single Christian, even if some of them were Christian.
Exactly, and that's kind of how my mom is, because my mom is very, I would say she's more like, I don't know what to call it, like witchy, I guess. She's more into like, your crystals and stuff like that. Yeah, like more pagan. But she used to be Christian. She was kind of raised into Christianity and stuff, but she had a lot of religious trauma, which is why when I first kind of wanted to be Christian and stuff and wanted to get into it, she was like, no, meh, 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 meh. But then she kind of eased up, and then she went to my baptism and stuff like that. So it took a while for her to kind of understand, like, not all Christians are bad, not all Christians are out there to hurt her or anything like that, which I'm so proud of my mom. And now she actually kind of like enjoys having conversations with me about it. So I will say, if you do end up reading the Bible, I would say start with the Gospels, so like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that's in the New Testament. Then I would say go to Romans. Romans is my favorite book in the Bible personally, because just there's so many comforting verses that will kind of actually bring light to things. My favorite one being Romans 8:26. It's God understands the cries of our hearts even when they're too deep for words. Which I find that beautiful. And then I would say read the Old Testament last. It's not really the covenant that Christians follow.
All right, cool.
I have a
Well, I just kind of wanted
question
to.
real quick.
Oh, yeah. So,
For what is your name? Tay?
Mm-hmm.
I was just, not to be weird or anything, but how old are you?
I'm 18. Sorry, I'm sick right now, so that's like
No,
why
you're
my.
good.
But no, I'm 18, born
It's
2008.
just, I was just gonna say it's pretty incredible that you're that knowledgeable of stuff at 18. I mean,
mean,
I would
it takes
say,
a long time, but
I would say that I'm Christian, but definitely not to that extent. But I mean, I would love to be. It's
I mean,
just,
I can help you. There's
yeah,
a lot of
definitely down
things
for that.
that I've kind of, because when I keep in mind, I'm also like severely dyslexic, so when it comes to reading things, it is like really hard for me. But the Bible was one of the only books that I was actually able to read. I'm on my third time reading it, and when I read things, I like to annotate and kind of break things apart. I found a prophecy within the first three words of the Bible when I broke it down. So, oh, bye. But yeah, so
Wait,
I do look on a deeper aspect to many things.
wait, what are we talking about here?
Christianity.
Wait, can I put my friend on the mic?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so like this is religious debate. So pretty much, I just want to say that I think I'm a god.
Can you explain why you think you're God?
Can I explain? Well, yeah, I can. So pretty much, like everyone around me loves me, they adore me, and they follow my rules. Isn't that literally a god?
I can say the
No.
same about my family, but like that doesn't mean we're God. People love you, but
I feel like this guy's just not being serious.
yeah, he's trolling. He's trolling.
Why would I troll? I literally think I am.
Because I feel like this is a serious topic, at least in
It
my
is a
eyes.
serious topic, and that's why I'm being serious about it. You guys are making fun of me.
No one's making fun of you.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No, I'm not making fun of you.
Alright. Oh,
I mean, we respect, at least I respect your opinion.
oh, actually.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I?
Oh, thank you.
I may
I mean,
not.
I may not agree with it, but
Yeah.
I can respect it, you know.
I mean, yeah, some people don't agree with God. That's why I'm a god.
Oh yeah, I'm on a podium. Yeah. What's up, man?
Yeah.
How
Hello.
y'all doing?
Wait, what's your the guy with the robot head?
Here we go. What's up with the questions?
Like, I'm a god. Do you believe in me?
Uh, do you believe in your mom and dad?
No.
All right, fuck. Next question.
No. Am I a god? Answer.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, son. Next
Eh,
question.
It's
You can't hurt my
simple.
feelings. I'm literally a god.
You're not a god, and I think you're blaspheming the
So
Holy
leave
Spirit.
him alone, ASMR. Leave
Yo,
him alone, ASMR.
It's a very serious sin what you're committing. It's very
it's
Leave him
scaring
alone,
me.
ASMR. Like I said, he don't even believe his mom and dad. Leave him alone.
No,
I created my mom and dad.
Yeah, he created his mom and dad. Like, leave him alone.
no, I gotta
Leave
help
him
this
alone.
guy out. He's very
No,
misled.
if
I
anything,
created my mom and
if
dad.
anything,
He's
talking to him is
trolling.
making fun of him.
He's trolling.
It's okay, leave him alone.
That guy's a troll.
Let's talk about religious debate. My bad.
I'm Christian.
Religious debate.
Yeah.
So who's Christian and who's Catholic here? Who's Christian?
Yeah.
Say I.
I'm
I
Christian. I'm Christian.
I'm a
What does it mean?
non-denominational Christian.
Alright, what does that mean?
means you don't follow really
Explain.
organized religion. Non-denominational is basically where you don't follow organized religion. So you're not like Catholic, Orthodox, Anglican, Protestant, anything like that.
So you're just a believer. Can you just say that?
Yeah. Well, I think that
Okay, thank you.
denominations they divide us.
To not believe or believe, whatever. So who's Catholic here?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of studying into Catholicism and stuff.
Cussed all this.
Nah, that was my friend.
That was a big word.
No trolling
Big
this
word.
time. No trolling.
That wasn't me. I kicked him out of my room.
All right.
He's really weird.
So who here been actually to catechism?
6 foot was
Me. My.
Pick Glacier.
I like that. So who hasn't been to catechism?
My friend.
Me.
Makes sense. We get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all the people who hasn't been to catechism, how can you really have a religious debate if you haven't even been to catechism?
Well, actually, I heard that 6 foot eggs churches. What do you guys think about that?
I don't like churches. I've never egged a church in my life.
I mean, I feel like you can have a religious
Isn't
debate
that
without
Catechism?
the
Yeah,
catechism?
it's where you learn about your religion.
Well, yeah.
You
So
can do individual research.
Dude, get away, bro.
If you go to school, doesn't teach you that. Catechism does.
yeah,
Christian
basically,
school does.
I
Catholic
have
school
that.
does.
I have that
You
debate. I
guys
have
even
that
go
debate.
to Catholic school or a Christian school or any type of?
this is a little chaotic.
I went
Get
to
out
a
of my
You were
room,
public
bro.
Christian, now
school,
you're
so I didn't
atheist.
know.
Can we put the Gula guy down?
I have a debate.
What?
It's very chaotic.
Bro, I'll lock my door. I'll get him out. Bro, get out. All right, I got him.
You're trolling Gyro. You're trolling Gyros, I believe.
No, I'm not.
Yo, this kid's trolling, bro. Kick him out.
All right, bro. 6 foot. You egg churches, bro. No, don't kick me.
This
I
is an
got
atheist
him out of my
now.
room. I kicked the weirdo out.
Type 1 in the chat if I should kick him.
No, he's autistic, bro. Just let him leave.
What's up with ASMR guy?
Oh,
They want to kick you, bro.
No
They
offense.
want to kick you.
Nah, bro. This is some like discrimination against people who have stuff like that.
I mean, my little sister's autistic, so not really.
Give him one more
But
chance.
that doesn't mean anything.
You're
You
good,
know, in the
man.
Bible,
Just like,
you forgive others when they
That wasn't even me. So I don't. I mean,
mess up.
No, yeah, I know.
My favorite
Okay.
Christian
Oh, do you guys
YouTuber
even
is
go to church?
autistic.
Who goes to church? Say I.
Hi.
I don't. So yeah, basically I'm waiting to on voice chat band. Let me play something. Let me play a song. Hey, y'all like Bound to. Wait, I'm gonna play Summer to Death.
Lovely, lovely, in your dreams, frenzy. Another movie that I didn't watch with you. Another movie, and we're gonna have the final terror is in your house somewhere, hiding in boxes behind closed doorways, out from the forest adjacent to your garage. I've seen its marks at the corner of your eyes. Nothing works. Nothing works for everyone. Good stories are bad lies. Good stories are bad lies. Take your hands off your neck and hold on to the ghost of my body. You know that good lies make bad stories. You can text me when punching mattresses gets home. Don't think it'll always be this way. Not comforted by anything I say. We were rest before we crashed into each other. Such a good idea if it turns you on. We have breakdowns and sometimes we don't have breakdowns. I wanna hear you going psycho. If you're going psycho, I wanna hear every conversation just ends with you screaming. Not even words, just Take my hands off your neck and hold on to the ghost of your body. I know that the lies make bad stories. You can text me when punching mattresses gets old. What if it'll always be this way? Not comforted by anything you say. We were rest before we crash into each other. Don't worry, you and me won't be alone no more. Don't worry, you and me won't be alone no more. Don't
I don't understand your point. Like,
How
oh
do
my
you not
god,
understand my point?
you knew one thing off the top of your head that you probably just researched about.
But you said you knew. Your statement was you knew pretty much all of the Bible, and yet you
Do you
can't
know
name
what
one
pretty
simple
much
thing that I
means?
asked you.
You know what that means? That
Do
doesn't
you know
mean
what
that I
pretty
can
much
remember
means?
every little thing off of the top of my head.
Exactly. So you don't know pretty much of the Bible. You know a little bit of it. If you knew pretty much of it, you would be able to list some things that most people wouldn't know if you
Okay.
read pretty much of it.
Okay, do you know about
That's an invalid statement.
Okay, do you know about the prophecy in the first 3 words of the Bible?
Do you want to inform me since you know pretty much everything about the Bible? If you know
Yes.
pretty much everything about the
Yes.
Bible, can you tell me most of the verses in the Bible?
Probably.
Can you name
Yes.
all the books if you know pretty much everything about the Bible?
Buddy, I'm gonna read out the prophecy and then I can name you every single book in the Bible because I do know them off the top of my head. Okay, so we can look at the prophecy. The Hebrew word is bereshit for the first 3 words in the Bible. The first 3 words are in the beginning. Okay, so in Hebrew they read from right to left. Okay, if we break down the letters, it's Beit, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Yod, and Tav. Okay, the references for those words is tent, chief, Adonai, or God, destroy, hand, cross, or covenant. Okay, if we take Beit and Resh together, Hebrew is bar, it means son. Okay, so even that alone, son, God, destroy, hand, cross, make a sentence that says the Son of God destroyed by his hand on the cross. Then if we take what is it? Shin, Aleph, and Resh, the Hebrew word is Rosh, and that means head. Then if we take Tav, Yod, and Shin, put that into Hebrew, the Hebrew word is Saith, that means thorns. Then if we take Yod and Shin, the Hebrew word is Shad, and that means gift in English. And then if we look at Shin, Resh, and Beit, the Hebrew word is Barosh, and that means tree. So we take head, thorns, gift, and tree. And then from Tav, if we take covenant from Tav, then the full sentence in whole from son, God, destroy, hand, cross, head, thorns, gift, tree, and then covenant, it would be the Son of God destroyed by his hand on the cross with thorns on his head and hung up on a tree as a gift of the covenant. Then we can look at John 1:1, which is, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then Aleph Tav means beginning and end of creation. Clear prophecy of Jesus being crucified and being the beginning and the end of creation. So, did you know that?
I told you to inform me. Was it evident that I did know that?
So you did.
Of course I didn't. I told you to educate me.
Okay, so yeah. I don't
Of course I
understand
didn't make the statement that I knew pretty much everything about the Bible. But here's the thing. Let's get to our main point here. Why do you believe in God?
I believe in God because of the way that he's altered my life, the way that it makes so much sense for there to be God. We can look at historical, archaeological, theological, philosophical. We can look at what?
So how does, you said it made more sense. How does it make more sense that there is a God that created us?
Well, how would we just appear here out of absolutely nothingness?
Why do you believe in a Bible in which, you know, it talks about 7-foot nights, and then it also talks about there being a heaven? Wait, I also have a question. Do you know Genesis 7:11?
Yeah, it's
I've debated you about this. I'm pretty sure I have. What do you think about the dome? The statement of the dome. Do you think it's metaphysical?
Oh my gosh! How many
No, just
times
answer it. No, answer it. Okay, it's gonna get to my point.
Don't, like, you can't ask me multiple questions and then cut me off when I try and speak. Ask me one question and then just stop talking so I can answer your question.
I was still speaking.
Okay, but you sat here and you went, well, do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? And then you said Genesis 7:11 or whatever it was, and then you won't let me speak. We've already debated We've already debated.
A statement.
Listen, we've already debated on the firmament. You lack the understanding of my point. I already made my point multiple times. This is probably the first time that you brought up that point, and it is quite simply useless.
What's your point? The point is theism. I'm asking you a question. This isn't about the dome, okay? It's a reference to get to my main point. Do you think that the dome is metaphysical, yes or no?
Yes.
So do you think that heaven could also be metaphysical, or do you think it's a metaphor just like the dome? Do you think it is?
God. Okay, so if we look at the dome, and I'm going to explain this to you. If you look at the dome, that it is described in Genesis 7:11, okay, The dome is when you say, "Oh, it broke open and the waters bursted out from it." That doesn't mean that we're living on a firmament on flat Earth. That's just a dome above us. It's not what it's talking about. It's not saying that the waters bursted from heaven. No, it is referring to the atmosphere on our planet. It doesn't mean that heaven is metaphysical. It doesn't mean this or that. It simply just means that the waters are literally falling from the atmosphere. You bring up the dome and then you ask if this is metaphysical and this is metaphysical just because one thing is metaphysical. If I say one thing in the Bible is supposed to be taken literally, does that mean that everything in the Bible isn't supposed to be taken literally? No.
Here, let me tell you. Do you know what metaphysical means?
Not the exact definition off the top of my head.
It just means that it's something that we can't comprehend, like something that we cannot see, like from the observable universe, that we cannot observe. And it's like not physically here.
Yeah.
And basically what that means, people call the dome metaphysical because we cannot observe it. And since heaven we can't observe, and of course we can't observe it, so therefore it'd be metaphysical.
No, we can observe it. When we get to when we die and we go to heaven and we're judged and we make it to heaven, then it is not metaphysical because we can see.
Can I ask you?
Can you see your heart?
Do you think that can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. Can you answer my question?
So
first?
you said that we can see it whenever we kick the bucket, right? Heaven.
Yeah.
So do you think that God and heaven are not affected by space and time?
They're beyond space and time.
Yep, exactly. So therefore, if something that we cannot experience or see in our observable universe right now, our observable universe, that's what we're talking about when it comes to metaphysical. Not whenever you kick the bucket. That's something that's the unknown. We're talking about the observable universe, and heaven is not in the observable universe. You can only, quote unquote, what you said is you can observe it whenever you die.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Can you see your heart right now?
Nope.
So is your heart metaphysical? No, because you can go to a doctor and you can get a CT scan or an MRI and you can see that. It's the same thing.
Can you scan for heaven?
There's been many people who have literally described their own stories of them dying and then being resuscitated and seeing heaven and meeting God. Have you ever watched Miracles from Heaven, which is based on true stories?
That's called a near-death experience. It's not them completely dying.
You can die and be brought back to life.
So when somebody flatlines at the hospital, are they just dying or are they having a near-death experience, not actually dead? If they flatline and their heart physically
What
stops.
happens to their soul then? They just go back in their body whenever they come back alive?
Basing off of many stories and things that people have experienced, there's a very high chance.
So how do you know that what they were experiencing wasn't just a misfire in their brain? I mean, I've heard of this, and there's actually people who had near-death experiences and they were actually drowning. Why can't you just relate this to a dream? Because there's plenty of people who didn't dream about heaven.
Okay, have you heard about the Miracles from Heaven story with Annabelle Beam?
Nope.
She had a major stomach issue where her intestines were literally tied in a knot. Okay, she ended up climbing a tree before she went for surgery. Ended up falling headfirst 50 feet down the center of that tree because it was hollowed. Okay, she fell headfirst. She was completely flatlined while she was inside of that tree for a solid 2 hours. Then got to the hospital after she was taken out and had 0 broken bones, couple scratches on her head, couple scratches on her face, all this kind of stuff. No broken bones, no nothing, no heart conditions, absolutely nothing. Was not brain dead. And, her entire, literal critical condition that she was in, that she needed surgery for, was completely healed.
I have a question. You said she flatlined in where she fell. You said she flatlined? Because I can quote you. You said she flatlined, right?
Yeah.
So if she was in there for over 2 hours and she had no brain damage, I think we wouldn't even try to. I mean, we probably would, but here's the thing. If your heart isn't pumping blood, which also means that you're flatlined, that means your brain will die in 10 minutes. So how was she not brain dead? And she was flatlined for 2 hours? You seriously want me to believe that?
This girl is still alive. You can literally go onto her story.
Are you sure this is true?
Yes.
What's your source?
There was listen, there was a movie made about it. The girl is still alive, has told her story millions of times.
What's your
Yeah,
source?
it's literally
I'm gonna look it
her
up.
experience.
So you're telling me she flatlined for 2 hours and wasn't brain dead?
Here,
That's what you're saying right now.
I'll pull up her story, and I'll get you.
Just give it to me. Give it to me.
Search up Annabelle Beam. She's from Austin, Texas. She's now a healthy young adult, inspiring others through her story. She earned a degree in psychology, and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, she is a real person. Oh, sorry, the tree wasn't 50 feet. It was 30 feet. Although that doesn't make much of a difference.
So I don't see anywhere where it says that she flatlined.
I'll pull up the source for you.
It just says that she fell 30 feet into a hollow tree and then banged her head, saw heaven, and then her disease was gone.
It was also, I believe it was also 5-hour entrapment.
So I have a question for you.
In the tree. She was in the tree for 5 hours. I could be
So
wrong though.
I have a question though. If you're referring to somebody else's experience after they fell 30 feet in the air, and you're just going off of this, how do you know that she was telling the truth? She fell 30 feet. I mean, would you not be hallucinating if you fell 30 feet?
No.
I mean, I would go to sleep if I fell 30 feet into a hollow tree. That's a long drop.
You would be dead if you fell head first down the middle of a tree. Smashing your head, you would at least, like, even if you did survive, you would have at least a broken neck, brain damage. You would probably be brain dead in the hospital, living off of life support.
It's not like she fell 30 feet onto a concrete, like, sidewalk. It was in a tree.
Okay, keep this in mind. Well, I can't remember. I think it was Tyree Sampson, the guy who fell out of the carnival ride. He was 30 feet in the air, and he died instantly because he fell on his head.
Yep. I mean, that sounds about right.
But this girl who was a lot younger, a lot smaller, you know, probably 5 foot at most, max 90 pounds because she wasn't able to eat because of her her stomach disease. She survives falling 30 feet on her head. That makes no sense.
Do you know how many people have miraculously survived even way worse things than she has?
Yeah, I know a couple people.
So what is one case and one report that you are referring to, and have you had a first-hand experience with God?
I've had, signs and stuff. I've had my moments where I've.
Can you name the signs?
Yeah, I feel like the first one that pops into my mind was when I went to Australia for the first time, and there was literally a cross shape in the clouds after I had just prayed that I wanted a sign that I would be protected. There's a couple that are just explainable and stuff.
If I prayed tonight and that I wanted God to make a cross in the sky whenever I wake up and I go outside, do you think that there would be a cross there, yes or no? Do you think if I prayed every day for there to be a cross in the sky, that there would be a cross every day in the sky? I don't think there would be.
It could be a possibility. It all depends on your faith.
So you think my faith has something to do with me when it comes to praying for a cross to be, or a sign Just like if I prayed for a cross to be in the air every single day for a year, I don't think I would see a cross in the air every day for a year. What if there's no clouds some days? What if that just, you know, there was no clouds every day? Then I wouldn't see a cross. So is that it? That's
all the time.
everything you have. I mean, yeah, that's one of your experiences, but is that really something that really proves that God exists for you?
It doesn't matter if I believe wholeheartedly in my chest that God is real. That doesn't matter whether or not you have to believe it. It doesn't matter whether or not I have, this magical sign where he comes down and speaks to me. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's your belief, but it matters to me, and that's the reason we're debating here. Because I don't think it's a very good idea to go off of your gut of, some people, I mean, almost all the Christians I've talked to, it's either their family survives a miraculous disease after they prayed, and they weren't religious before, and now they are because of that. Or it's because, they had signs just like you, and, they had dreams about them, so now they're religious. It's never because, God actually spoke to them, unless they're like, you can't really prove that, because whenever I wanted, a God to speak to me, never spoken to me. Whenever I saw a cross in there, or actually I've never seen a cross in there, but whenever I pray for something good to happen, it just never happened. I think I just have bad luck, or it might just have something to do with luck, in my opinion.
It doesn't mean you have bad luck. You have to think about it in this way, okay? And this is a really good description of praying that I heard from Morgan Freeman, okay? Morgan Freeman said, when you pray for patience, God isn't just going to give you patience. He's going to give you opportunity. You pray for, some fuzzy feeling that makes your entire family love each other. No, he's going to give you opportunities for it. When you pray for things, you can't just expect it to just magically happen right now. No. You're going to get opportunities. If you pray for, a hand to help you through these hard moments, or if you're, actually, use this analogy, okay? If you're stranded in the middle of the ocean on a little life raft, or even drowning in the middle of the ocean, okay? And you pray to God and you say, God, help me, get me out of this situation. And then a boat passes by, and they say, hey, you need help? And you say, no, I'm waiting for God to help me. That person could have been your help that God had sent you. There's so many things. Praying does not just equal, it's just going to happen now that I ask for it. If I pray to become a millionaire, it's not going to happen right now. No. I'm going to get these opportunities that are going to come up where I could take this magical job that's going to give me $1 million.
So I have a question. Do you think God created free will, right? So here's the thing. If I pray for God, right, and everybody has free will, I pray for God. Let's say I want to, be friends with this one person again. We got a really bad argument, and since they have free will, they could easily reject me. So what would be the point of praying if I'm just gonna get rejected to somebody who, has free will, and they could easily just reject me just like that? Yeah, just like that. I mean, I wouldn't have any opportunities. I mean, you see some people, they don't even see their quote-unquote friends for years after they had an argument. You want to know why? It's because some people just don't want to be talked to. It's like whenever you're praying, it just doesn't. I've never had good experiences when it comes to that. Whenever someone tells me to give it to God, I just don't feel no weight come off my shoulders. I'm still angry because I think there's chemicals in my brain, chemical reactions in my brain that make me feel those emotions. It's not like, oh yeah, God, like the devil's making me feel these emotions, and God's gonna take that weight off of me. No, I think that there's literally chemicals in my brain going boom, and then I just feel this way because it's because it's nature.
Okay, the whole thing about the friends thing, free will goes on both aspects. They have free will to reject you, you have free will to want that friendship. Okay? You need to look at it in the way, your prayers aren't always going to be answered. If I pray that my dead grandpa is going to come back alive, is he just magically going to raise from the dead and just be like, oh, hey, Tay, even though he's been dead for 15 years? No.
Of course not.
Exactly. Not every single prayer is going to come true just because you want it to. You can pray that you want your. If I pray for you to be Christian right now, do you think you're just magically going to become Christian? No, it's because you
Of
also
course
have.
not. But I have a question. So
Hang on.
what
hang
you're
on.
saying right now is that prayers don't always happen. So what you're saying is that whenever I pray, it's got to be a coincidence for it to become true, and we put
No,
those beliefs in prayers because they're coincidences
no, it's
because they
not.
don't always come true. So how can you put your beliefs in something, a prayer that doesn't always come true? It could always just be a coincidence, but you wouldn't know because you always pray for something that you want and you never just let it happen because it could be a coincidence for all you know. But if something good happens, you just give it to the prayer. It's the prayers, you know. The reason that you prayed is the reason that you're getting something good in return. But it doesn't always happen. You want to know why? Because that's life. And if you think about it, praying doesn't do anything. But I've never prayed before, and I want some good stuff to happen, and it still happens even though I don't pray. So I think prayers are just coincidences at this point because you said that they don't always happen.
Bro. Just because okay. I'm going to use my friend's story as an analogy for you, okay? Just to hopefully get you to understand it.
I do understand. What am I not understanding?
You don't, because you think that they're just
What am I not
coincidences.
understanding? Can you explain what I'm not understanding? Don't use any analogies. Just give it to me straight. What am I not understanding here?
Can you stop talking then?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand here. Can you give me a straight reason, or can you give me a straight answer for what I do not know, or what I'm talking about right now? What
This is the difference.
What are you trying to prove me wrong with?
No,
Just
I'm not trying
make your statement and then just tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Okay? There's a very big difference between me and you. You don't believe in coincidence, or you believe in coincidences. I don't. I don't believe that in certain moments when I've seen me or my friends praying for something and then it happening and stuff, a couple weeks later or, right after or anything like that, I don't view those as coincidences. Okay? Because I have my faith and I have my beliefs. Okay? You are entitled to your own beliefs. I'm not trying to force you into Christianity or anything like that. You are your own person. You have your free will. Okay? I can pray right now and pray that, God will reveal himself to you. It's all whether about you accepting that prayer. You accepting, the sign from God in 2-3 weeks if it happens or anything like that. I could pray that, you have a dream tonight of, Jesus revealing himself to you and saying, like, hey, I'm real, you need to turn to me, or anything like that. I could pray that, whether or not you want to accept that prayer. So you can deny that prayer, and you don't want that prayer. You don't want to be a Christian. You don't want this. You don't want that. And then there won't be a sign for you. It's whether or not you want to accept.
Sorry.
It's whether or not you want to accept that.
I don't feel like you're explaining me anything that I don't already know. But anyways, every time I ask, like, we're debating here. I don't want it to go back to, oh yeah, you have your beliefs, I have mine. I want you to debate the topic that I'm trying to put down, because it seems like whenever I try to ask you a question, it just seems like instead of answering it, you rebuttal back to, oh, you have your beliefs, I have mine, and you start making your point. Because you weren't explaining anything to me. I mean, you say your statements, but you don't explain why you say your statements. Like you said, you were going to explain to me because I didn't understand something, but all you did was tell me that I have my beliefs and you have yours, and then you went back to saying that because you pray, I believe in coincidences and you don't. That's all you did. You didn't explain to me anything that I don't already know. So what were you trying to explain to me there?
So here's where it came. Because you said, oh, well, I don't believe prayer does anything because I think it's just a coincidence that this can happen, or I think it's just a coincidence because sometimes it doesn't work. So I was explaining to you that you may view it as a coincidence. I don't. So I was explaining you my perspective on it because I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe things happen just, because that's life. No, I don't believe that. Okay? That's what I was explaining. That's what you weren't really understanding.
I do understand that.
Okay, and that's my apology.
Because, quote unquote, you have your beliefs and I have my beliefs. But that's not what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to ask you, like, I'm trying to ask you questions here. I mean, shoot. I don't want to go back to religious texts because I don't feel like we're going to get anywhere with that whenever it comes to debates like this. Because I think that whenever we start bringing up different people's experiences instead of your own, because these are your beliefs. Think about it. These are your beliefs. Just because somebody else said something that they saw God because they fell like 30 feet, okay? They fell 30 feet. And just because they say they saw God, you suddenly believe that. So if somebody just told you, oh, I just saw Jesus come out from the air, you would just believe it, huh? Because you're using analogies that don't have any
No,
evidence to them. I'm not trying to be rude at all, though.
no, and I understand that you're not trying to be rude, and I respect that. Okay, and I understand where your point is coming from. Okay, yes, I may not know that, she may have, went to heaven and stuff like that, met God, all this kind of stuff. But what if she did? It's a big what if, okay? So when I look at that case and I look at the factor that her entire disease was cured, that was literally critical, that was not fixable without surgery, her intestines were literally tied tied in a knot, and that's magically just cured, no injuries, no broken bones, no nothing, after falling headfirst 30 feet down a tree and being stuck there for 5 hours. That's like literally a miracle. That happening just, by chance. But it's not only just her case. My friend, for example, was in a horrible car accident. She should have been dead. But no, she got out of that car, 0 injuries, literally 0. No scratches, no bruises, no cuts, nothing. She had 0 injuries.
She wearing her seatbelt?
No, she wasn't. She was also
Okay, so
speeding.
why didn't she fly through the windshield? Wait, she got into a car accident? Was it like a bad car accident?
Yeah. The car rolled
So why didn't
off
she?
the road.
Oh, it rolled. Yeah,
It
so
rolled the road.
here's the thing. The reason why she didn't fly through the windshield is because I don't know if you know the laws of physics, but whenever a car rolls, it actually distributes the force, and it's actually like it's still going at a momentum, but it keeps losing energy, newtons, as it rolls. But if you just go straight head on and the car stops immediately, guess what? Where you're going? You're going through that windshield. However fast the car was going, the car came to a complete stop. You know who's still going 30 miles an hour? You, through the windshield. But because her car rolled, the energy was distributed to where that they were both traveling at the same time, to where the car took all of the force. And yeah, she might have got a little whiplash, or maybe not. But it's all up to whether or not she hit her head or something. But it's not like that's gonna cause any major injuries because she didn't crash head on. It rolled. Rolling is a big factor when it comes to car accidents. Actually, we want car rolling to happen. It saves you. It generally saves lives.
I wouldn't say it
I'm
saves
I'm
you
gonna explain
Okay,
how
yeah,
this
it doesn't
car
save
accident
lives,
happened.
but it's better than crashing
Hang
head
on.
on. Am I right?
Hang on.
Seriously,
I'm
would you
gonna
rather
explain how
crash
this
head
car
on or
accident
roll?
happened.
I would
I
rather
will
roll.
explain how this car accident happened. Okay? She was driving down a back road, not following the laws of the road. She was speeding. She wasn't wearing a seatbelt, anything like that. Okay? She was drunk out of her mind. Keep that in mind. Okay? She was.
VC band, I'm guessing.
Wait, so if she was doing all of that, wait, can I ask you this question? If she was committing all these crimes, breaking the law and all of this, why is there still innocent people who are following the normal safety laws? Tell me why there's still like families of 4 who are living a good life just get T-boned in the middle of the road, and this girl makes it out alive even though she was committing all these crimes. Coincidence? I think not.
I would, well, I mean, you can say it's a coincidence, but I would definitely say it's more of a miracle.
So why, and do you think a miracle has something to do with God?
Yes.
So then why wouldn't God make a miracle happen for a family of 4, but he would make a miracle happen for somebody who's committing crimes and breaking laws? Why would he do that? Tell me.
That's a good question. However, I would like to say though, just to clarify, I'm not as educated as Tay is on the subject. I'm just here to
I mean,
learn more
Tay is
as well.
slightly educated. I wouldn't say, she knows some of the Bible, but the Bible is still a huge book. You can't memorize all of that. But at the same time, if you know a lot about the Bible and you're willing to debate somebody about it, you can't just go back to your biblical text. If somebody's listing a line and there's a ton of verses in the Bible, if you're listing a verse and they don't know what the verse is, here's the thing. If they don't know what the verse is, they're not going to be knowing what they're talking about after they read the verse, because they wouldn't know the point that you're trying to make, because they wouldn't know what the verse means in the first place, because they wouldn't know the context of the verse. That's why you have to explain it to them. It doesn't make you dumb at all. You just got to explain stuff to them. That's what a debate is. And I understand, but you don't have to be educated on everything. I think she was just like, some people feel insecure whenever they're not educated on everything, but that's understandable, because the Bible is a lot. And I dive into science and all that, but it's not as much as the Bible. I mean, there's a lot of science, but I could just get to the main points and skim through all of that. With the Bible, you can't do that. You have to bring up quotes, all this. It's like sorting through a newspaper and trying to quote it. You're like a reporter whenever it comes to the Bible. But whenever you're trying to relate to science, you're just writing notes at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's a lot easier to debate the Bible.
No, I mean,
That's
I
why.
understand your point.
Yeah, I don't like. I read the Bible and I only, just like science, I only get to the points to where it proves my point instead of showing that God is real, because there's a lot of, in my opinion, inaccuracies in the Bible. And that's why I think whenever you're a Christian, you dig into the Bible a lot, which makes you, it's a lot.
It is.
And, she could cite all of that stuff. Good on her, but, that's just her trying to prove her point. And I'm just trying to prove my point at the end of the day. And,
yeah, I think,
I'm just using certain Bible verses.
From what I've gathered
and,
sorry, you can continue.
Nah, I mean, I was just gonna say, my main point is that, this is my own point that I made. A lot of Christians say that God is not affected by space and time, and heaven. I don't know. There was this one guy saying it wasn't affected by space and time, but we still can observe heaven, so therefore it'd be metaphysical. Just like the dome that they're talking about is either metaphysical or it's metaphorical. And I don't know, because some people, some Christians, they say this two different things, two different meanings. Because metaphysical means something that we don't know outside of our known universe, that we can't see. And metaphorical means that it's something that is therefore, a figurative stance. Like, it's something that you're trying to explain with some emphasis on it. They're two different things, and yet they still use them in the same sentence when it comes to a dome. And I try to ask them that question is, if the dome is metaphysical because we can't see it in our reality, or it's metaphorical. But I'll just say, for this example, it's metaphysical. If the dome is metaphysical, we can't see it in our reality, or we can't experience it or prove it, then wouldn't heaven be metaphysical? Because if heaven is outside of our universe, it would be just like God. Therefore, it would be metaphysical, in the way that we wouldn't be able to observe it in our known universe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from, but I think when it comes to this debate specifically between you and Tay, I feel like, because I've heard that you guys have debated before, correct?
Yep.
I feel like, it genuinely does come down to Tay has her beliefs, you have your beliefs, I have my beliefs. We all have these different beliefs. And are you, so what's your stand on Christianity basically? Are you saying that it's not real, or
I don't believe that it is
or
real.
you don't believe? Yeah, okay.
I think it might have been, religion was derived. I mean, there's a bunch of religions, and the reason why you don't see people,
Get ready to
if
receive
you had
some
like
Holy
Egyptians, for
Spirit.
example, they literally believed in God's like seriously, they had ancient writings, ancient scriptures. But here's the thing. Guess what happened to the Egyptians? We don't have them around anymore. But the only reason we could read their writing
We still
is because of that one tablet, because it was written in Greek, I think, and we could
Correct.
the British scholars could read Greek. It was found by I think it was France. Yeah, it was found by France, and then it was their colony was raided by the British. They found the ancient tablet there, and the British scholars could decipher the Greek, which is how we discovered hieroglyphics in ancient Egypt. And what I'm trying to say is they had their own biblical, or they had their own religious language, and they believed in a God. And that's like the same thing as Christianity, because I mean it's not the same thing, but it's similar in a way to their that they both had stories, and they both have their biblical texts, and they also have, they believe in gods. I mean, just like that. I mean, the pyramids were a long time ago, but you got to think about it. Most religions, I mean, they were made around the same sort of time. If you're thinking about the time around space, space is a long time, and this is all just that what we're experiencing. Just 2,000 years is like a snap in like space and time. It just goes by like that, and space and time is like, I don't know, trillions of years, billions of years, way more than that actually.
light years.
But just like that, religion started. And Confucianism was being developed at the same time that Jesus was walking the earth, from 220 BCE to 202 CE, in
There's a
the
big
Han Dynasty during Emperor Tao's reign in China.
There's a big difference though when it comes to that. We actually have, people who have met Jesus and all this kind of stuff in the first century. We have people who were there to witness the miracles. We have people who were there to witness the resurrection, the crucifixion, all this kind of stuff. We have the Shroud of Turin, which is literally a image that is unable to be replicated. I can go on 5 main factors of why the Shroud of Turin cannot be recreated. We have all
Question?
this stuff that can prove this. Other religions don't.
But I have a question.
Okay.
How can you say that you said that people experienced it firsthand, like they met Jesus,
Yeah.
but you say it's proven, but it's not proven. Simply people writing down ancient scriptures that they met Jesus is not proof. The proof that we need is we need some type of hard evidence, not just words on, like, if I were to, like, it's just like you're believing in something that, people wrote it down, right? That they met Jesus. But if I wrote it down on a piece of paper, right now, you wouldn't believe me, right? If I did it right in front of you, I met Jesus on a piece of paper, you wouldn't believe me because you hadn't seen it yet. But if I said I just met him right now as I was writing it on the paper, I look up and I'm like, I see Jesus, and I start writing it down right in front of you, and you didn't see Jesus, would you believe me?
Well, no, because the timeline wouldn't line up.
Of course, you wouldn't believe me.
Jesus.
The timeline doesn't matter when it comes to Jesus, though, because
talking
they said
about
they. Yeah, Jesus was a real person, but but here's the thing, they could have. What I'm trying to make my point here is that Jesus could have God could they could just write about God without any proof of it, and the proof is not there. And just like ancient Egyptians, they have their own text. But all the people that they never experienced a God. Jesus was he was literally full-blooded human and quote unquote divine. He was divine. But there was nothing pointing to him being divine, rather than the quote unquote metaphors in the Bible saying that he walked on water, which I'm pretty sure that is true, but some Christians think that it's just metaphorical.
No,
And they actually say in the Bible that he's fully flesh and fully divine. But yet, so you think he walked on water, right?
Yeah.
So if you think that, and so you believe in that they were telling the truth whenever they were writing their stories down, right?
Yeah, if things are meant to be taken literal, such as the miracles, then yes, 100% I believe in
Wait,
them.
why did he leave?
Buddy, I don't know the thing that he's kind of not understanding.
Wait,
But
is
like,
he gone or is it just me?
he's gone.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. But no, when things are written down within the Gospels or within just scripture in general that are not meant to be taken literally, which you can kind of tell which is and which isn't, those are the things that we won't take literally. When it comes to the miracles and the actual things that have happened, we're going to take them literally.
Of course. I mean, it seems like you're just nitpicking my main point here. I was just saying that other Christians believe that. And I believe that, of course, if you are a Christian, I think he did walk on water. I mean, I went to church, learned about that. But my main point was that, you know, how can you believe the ancient scriptures that they saw a God if you have no evidence whatsoever besides them writing that on a tablet or a piece of paper?
We have evidence.
And you have no evidence besides that to prove that they actually saw that. How can you prove that they saw it? All they did was write it down on a piece of paper. You're telling me if I was there 2,000 years ago, let's say Jesus wasn't there and I was there 2,000 years ago, and I wrote, "Oh, I just saw Jesus. He was sent by God on an ancient tablet." Would you believe that? If I got everybody, just how this played out. Jesus was a real person. If I put something on an ancient tablet, this guy was sent by God, and I met him in person, and I spread it around as a religion, and 2,000 years later, you pick up this religion. Would you believe it? Let's just say he wasn't sent by God. Would you believe it?
We don't only look at scripture.
No, but like you're saying that they wrote, there was eyewitness accounts. And the reason why we have those eyewitness accounts is because they wrote on tablets.
Listen,
Ancient
because
scripture.
that's not the only evidence
That's
we
one of the
have.
things you listed. Are you just like are you trying to disregard
We
your
have the Shroud
point?
of Turin. Listen. We have the Shroud of Turin. We have a literal image of Jesus that scientists and researchers cannot replicate.
Of course, I've heard of it.
So I can go down the 5 main factors as to why this is literally proving his divinity.
Just like Egyptians,
So
Egyptians literally are buried with gold, and they have mummies. They have mummies, just like in Egyptians. The Shroud of Turin is basically just like a mummy, just like in Egyptians. Think about it. Think about it.
No, because okay, can you stop saying "think about it" every 5
I just said
seconds?
it 2 times.
Okay, and I'm trying to speak.
You're just nitpicking me at this point. Okay, speak. Are you
okay?
Chill out.
Because if we look, well, don't ask me things and then cut me off when I try and tell you things.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead. You have the stage.
Okay. So I can go down the 5 main factors as to why the Shroud of Turin is literally proof that Jesus was divine, had a resurrection, which you can easily replicate mummies. You can easily replicate this kind of stuff. You can put somebody in a literal casing and say, "Oh, this is a mummy." No, the Shroud of Turin you cannot recreate no matter how hard you try. Okay, scientists have been trying for the past 2,000 years. So number 5 would be that it is completely irreproducible. The Shroud of Turin is completely irreproducible with modern technology, and every single attempt at recreating it has failed. Then we can look at the supernatural bursts of light. Researchers have estimated for the past 500 years since they found it that around 34 trillion watts of energy and light had to burst at the blink of an eye to even engrave the smallest image on the shroud. Okay, then we can look at the factor that the blood is still red after 2,000 years, which is literally impossible because normal blood would turn rusty or brown after about 1 to 2 days. Okay, then we can look at the fact that it is completely unexplainable. No scientist or researcher has a plausible explanation as to how this artifact was created, and the only viable answer after hundreds of years is that it is of the supernatural. Then we can look at the factor that it was literally dated back to the 1st century from a wax study in 2022, which proves that the shroud dates back to the 1st century by testing its degradation period to another 1st century cloth, and it was a match. Okay, all of that, you cannot recreate this shroud. This is perfect, clear evidence, literal photographic evidence of Jesus Christ being a real person who was crucified on the cross and who did resurrect 3 days later. Nobody can disprove it. People have been trying since the 1st century, since it was uncovered by the ancient medieval people, all this kind of stuff. You cannot recreate it.
It kind of just sounded like you were just, going off of AI right there, but I can't say that for sure. It just sounded like it. Anyways, I know. But you kind of said, quote unquote, we can easily replicate mummies, but we can't replicate the Shroud of Turin. So can you tell me how we would replicate a mummy? What do you mean by replicate it, by the way?
Do you know what a mummy is?
Of course, it's a mummified person. It's somebody who died in ancient Egypt and got all of their organs harvested, wrapped up, and was sent into a coffin, buried with a bunch of treasures that they could take with the afterlife to them.
Yeah. I can make a mummified version of myself right now. If I die,
that's what you meant by replicate?
Is there any unexplainable way as to how mummies are there? No. It is easily explained. If I sit here and I die right now and I have on a piece of paper, I want to be mummified, and people harvest all my organs out, they wrap me up in this cloth.
Doing that.
But just think for a second, okay? If I ask people to do that and they do it, and then 100 years from now, somebody finds my mummified body, easy. People can do this for the next million years if they wanted to. Nobody can recreate this shroud. Nobody can have a shroud that will do that exact same thing. Nobody can be wrapped in a cloth while they are literally dead and have the blood still be red after 2,000 years. Nobody can have the factor of literal 34 trillion watts of light to burst at the blink of an eye just to engrave a tiny little image on a piece of cloth.
Question. How do you know that there was 34, I think you said 34 million watts of power. How do you know that happened?
How do you know that gravity exists?
Was it scientifically proven? Wait, what?
Yeah. You can look at any scientist.
Of course, I was just asking you a question.
Yeah. But it was not, I'm not trying to be rude, but it wasn't the brightest question. It's like asking if you can prove that gravity exists.
Okay, let me fact check you real quick. So what's the statement here? The watts thing, the energy thing. Let me just fact check you right here. If you said that wasn't the brightest question.
Yeah. So I'm gonna restate.
Okay.
Researchers estimate around 34 trillion watts of light had to burst at the blink of an eye to engrave this image. Hence to why no scientist.
What image?
The image of Jesus on this shroud from the 1st century. Especially think about this. In the 1st century, they did not have technology to be able to do that like we do today. And we still today cannot make an image on a shroud like that.
Let's see. What's logging?
I'll actually go onto the exact website that I got my information from.
Let's see. Seems like it was caused by ultraviolet rays.
I'd have to look at the website that I got my information. Max was one of the main ones. You can go on to Shroud of Turin UK. You can go on to... I'm trying to find the exact website that I had cited on this. Because I have this all written down in my notebook. That's why it may seem like I'm reading off of AI Overview. But no, this is all written down in my notebook. And I have this is my notebook. Like, I don't know how you want. I can literally add you on Discord and send a picture of all my notes, but
yeah. I mean, the only thing that I can use to prove this wrong is the carbon dating on it, which was showing that it was dated back to 1260 to 1390.
Okay, I actually have a rebuttal for this because that was actually disproven by historians. So we can look at the factor that the Middle Ages, so 1260 to 390, I believe it was. literally already disproved that. It was a corner of the cloth that was found in a medieval repair shop. That was already disproven by scientists and stuff. So, bad thing to bring
So
up.
how does this prove Jesus' existence? My bad.
Everybody always talks. Let's have photographic evidence, otherwise he doesn't exist. The Shroud of Turin is literally an image of Jesus that can't be replicated, especially when it's dated back to the 1st century.
Oh, so it's you're going off of the picture of Jesus that was made?
Yeah. And it matches the literal biblical description of Jesus.
It's not really a clear picture, not gonna lie.
It is. You can see his facial features. You can see the wounds on him. You can see everything. It is a clear picture. Yeah, now it's a little bit, kind of torn up and stuff. But that doesn't degrade the fact that it is literally an image of Jesus on this piece of cloth.
So it's still debated whether or not this is an actual historical proof.
Yeah.
From
Debated by
what
who?
I'm reading right here. So if it's being debated, so it's not hard evidence. If it's still being debated.
I'm gonna
I don't
ask
really
this.
know the debate topics of it, but it seems like if there was a debate for it, then it should be a pretty good debate. People are still debating about it, of course.
Yeah, no, they're debating whether or not it actually was from the 1st century or whether it was from the Middle Ages, which was already disproven. You want to know who's denying that the Shroud of Turin is real?
Who?
Islamic people and atheists. Because Islamic people, if the Shroud of Turin is proven to be true, 1000%, which it already pretty much has been, it is due to the mere factor that Islam would have to complete their entire religion would be false because they do not believe in the crucifixion. They don't believe he resurrected or anything like that. And atheists would have to kind of believe, yeah, this kind of unexplainable, this man from the 1st century who was just a carpenter managed to resurrect from the dead. So that people who are the atheists.
This is the reason you believe in God?
Oh my god, it's not the only reason I believe in God.
I know you gave me another reason, but how many reasons could you possibly have for believing in God? You can't really list all of them unless it's just an infinite amount of reasons. How many reasons do you have? List all of them right now.
Historical, archaeological, theological, philosophical.
No, just list, not just don't. I'm talking about just explain them, okay?
Okay, I don't just simply go off of blind faith in scripture. I go off of the evidence.
Of course you don't. That's why I'm asking you right now for your reasons.
Okay. So I go off of a lot of the reasons from my personal experiences. I go off of what other people have experienced. I go off of literal proven facts from history and archaeology and science and all this kind of stuff. I go off of those. I go off of how much things have made sense, because I'm gonna be honest, looking at what Jeffrey, who has done, it makes sense as to why God would do what he did in the Old Testament. So things that started making sense to me after I came to the religion. Finding, prophecies that have been fulfilled. The fact that the Bible has 63,779 cross-references within it, and it's like, not one singular person can write a book as articulate as the Bible. The entire religion just falls perfectly into place, and people will still try to disprove it.
So, do you believe everything in the Bible?
Yeah.
So,
do I follow
you're a Christian, and why aren't you a Catholic?
It's not about denominations, and if we want to get literal, I'm studying.
Not just my question.
Yeah, if we want to get literal, I'm studying into Catholicism. Because I genuinely follow a lot of the teachings of Catholicism, and I want to get into it. So I'm studying it.
That's basically what Christianity is. There's differences.
There is differences. The Catholics are Christians.
Are you a specific branch of Christian?
No, I'm non-denominational. I do not follow into.
Oh, okay.
At this point.
Just had to ask.
And that's okay. But one thing about me is I follow a lot of, the original teachings. I follow all the sacraments, pretty much a lot of the things that the Catholic Church teaches.
I have a question. When did you start believing in God? And what were you before that? Were you ever an atheist?
Yeah, I was an atheist my entire life until about 6-ish years ago.
Wow.
I don't want to say 6, 7, but 6 or 7 years ago. And I had to find it all on my own.
What was a big thing that you're like, wow, I don't believe in atheism anymore. I think I should, I think I should become a Christian. What was that big thing? That's why I'm trying to ask you. Yeah, this is way better because I was trying to ask you, like, what was your main point? I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, your main point was probably the reason that you changed to Christianity. So what did make you change to Christianity?
It wasn't really a big thing. It wasn't like a near-death experience or anything like that. A lot of people would call it really basic, but in my eyes, at that moment, throughout my whole life, I did not believe in coincidences. Never did. I always thought there was a reason for everything. Okay? I was going through so much of that, genuinely hit rock bottom. I was wanted to, end things. I was at the worst stage of my life. 12 years old, okay? Absolute horrible bullying at school. My mom hated Christians, did not let me think about Christianity, talk about it, anything like that. Okay? I got back in contact with my grandpa. My grandpa was a Christian. And I asked him, I was like, hey, can we go to church? Just because I kept hearing about it on social media and stuff like that. So I went to church for the first time, and the very first thing that was said during that sermon was Romans 8:26. And Romans 8:26 states, God understands the cries of our hearts even when they're too deep for words. And I was like, that's a little interesting. Maybe it's just a coincidence. And then I started my grandpa, he had given me a Bible and stuff like that because I said, I kind of want to look into this. So he was like, okay, gave me a Bible. I started reading into it. I actually still have that Bible to this day. And started reading into it. And then I was like, this all seems fake. This is just a coping mechanism. I was that kind of atheist. I thought all of this was just a coping mechanism. Until things started actually making sense the further I read into the Bible. Started understanding, this kind of aligns a lot with what, I was taught in school and stuff. This is a little interesting. And then I had a couple other just little moments that, people will call coincidences and all this kind of stuff. Then I started looking a lot deeper into it, looking into the evidence, looking into, prophecy, scripture, all this kind of stuff. And that's when I had my full, I was like, that is what I need to believe.
So
all on my own, the ripe age of 12 years old. No help.
I have to ask you a question. I'm not trying to try to target your reason for turning to Christianity, but do you think that you started believing in that because you said, quote unquote, that you had really harsh bullying, and at that time you're really low, and then you saw Christianity and you're like, oh, I want to check this out, and what made you start believing in that was because it was something that turned to because you were getting bullied? Just asking. Do you think that was one of the reasons?
It wasn't something that, was just for a coping mechanism to, give me a peace of mind. No, it was more of the factor that when I went to the church for the first time, okay, and mind you, I had my little moments where every time I was visiting my grandparents, I would go to church and stuff. Throughout my childhood until I was about 5, and then was forced to stop by my mom, okay? When I had first went back to church,
and that verse was said first thing throughout the entire, like, not even, there was no worship songs or anything like that were played before the sermon started. Absolutely nothing. It was like completely quiet that entire time. We sat down, boom, that was the first verse that was said. And I was, in having a kind of moment of just, not so good thoughts in my mind, wanting to just, I had letters written, everything like that. Like, I just wanted everything to be done. And having that verse said, I was kind of like, that's a little weird. Why is it that the first time I come back to church, that's the only thing that's said at the beginning? And it made me think, because I, as somebody who didn't believe in coincidences, I was like, that's a little weird. Tried to find so many ways to kind of go around it because I didn't want to follow religion, I guess. Like, I was like a hardcore atheist. And then it started making sense to me, and I kind of understood a lot more things as I came to Christianity. I started looking at the Hebrew, I started looking at the Greek, breaking things down, understanding things on a deeper level.
I have a
And
question.
Christianity.
You said you started looking into things. I mean, do you mean by looking into things you started looking into religion and you didn't look into science? Did you look into science at all? I mean, I think I've asked you this before. You said you did, but
I was
did you?
science and as a kid.
I mean, somebody said, I don't know if this was you. They said a light year was a century. Oh no, this definitely wasn't you. They said a light year was a century. I was like, oh.
No. See, I was a big science nerd as a kid. Like, kindergarten, I knew the entire periodic table of elements like the back of my hand. I was the biggest science freak ever. I wanted to be a scientist, all this kind of stuff. So I look a lot into science for a lot of my reasoning. Hence why I look at the fine-tuning argument, and I have it written down too. I look at the teleological argument, the Kalam cosmological argument. I look into a lot of things because science doesn't disprove God. It doesn't prove it 100%, but it doesn't disprove it either.
I mean, I have a question. You said you did a lot of research. That's why you turned to God, right?
Yeah. Well.
Then how come you were bringing up the point that all of this stuff was coming together, like you saw a cross in the clouds, and instead of bringing up your reasons for like all this research you did, you just decided to bring up like a cross in the cloud. I mean,
because you were asking personal experiences. At least that's what I kind of got from it. I don't know if you were just asking exactly, research wise, but I thought you were asking my personal experience.
At that time, I didn't know, like, you went into Christianity because of evidence, or was it belief?
It was a mix.
What the fuck happened? What the fuck? What the hell? No, this isn't the moment.
I told you, didn't I?
I don't
I told you.
I don't think it was very cool to just like throw.
The fuck? What the fuck happened? Yo, what happened?
I disconnected for being up
Disconnected from being
20
early.
minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes.
That's interesting that can happen in a VC game. I feel like no doubt you're gonna be idle.
That's
Right, like I'm not gonna be checking my phone every 5 seconds.
for real.
Okay, where I need him. I want him to join back.
Yeah, you guys were having a pretty good debate.
It was a good debate. Well, it wasn't really much of a debate. It was just me answering his questions for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was kind of just talking over you.
That ended for a little bit. It was wow. But like, he kind of had a point where he just kind of wasn't understanding what I was trying to say.
I feel like from like when I was listening, I feel like it kind of comes down to like a certain extent where you have your beliefs and he has his, and I feel like no matter what's gonna be said between both of you,
It's not going to
his
change.
mind's just not gonna change.
Yeah.
Which I mean is that's fair if that's how he wants to have it be.
Yeah, like it's understandable. I'm just gonna try and sit here and convert him if he doesn't want to be a part of the religion. I'm not gonna force him. We've had many discussions though, and every single time he always just asks the same question. That's why I was iffy about putting him up.
Yeah, I understand.
Because it's just been every single time. This is probably the 5th time I've talked to him. Every single time it's just explain Genesis 7:11 after I've already explained it multiple times to him. It's either that or John 17:3.
Yeah, I get that.
So it was like I was hoping it wasn't the same thing, and I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you got VC banned, he was talking to me about like the Egyptian hieroglyphics. I don't know if you caught it at the end, but I was like, I feel like that's not a very good counter argument, I guess is the word.
Because I mean, like if we think about it like that, we can also look at Julius Caesar fighting in the Gallic War. There's only 10 manuscripts to ever prove that he existed and fought in the Gallic War, yet everybody believes he did.
Yeah.
So just because there's manuscripts of things and people and all this kind of stuff, yeah, they could be real people who did this, but if that's the only thing, then that's not really. It's like, yeah, it's evidence that they existed and did things, but I mean, if we want to bring that up, Jesus has 25,000 manuscripts, 25,730, I believe it was. So shouldn't everybody believe that Jesus was a real person who did what he did and died on the cross and rose from the dead? Because we have the manuscripts for it.
Yes.
It's a double standard that people have.
Yeah, I understand.
This is a divine person in our eyes. They don't want to believe that because they don't want to have to kind of submit to certain laws, do certain things, change how they do things. It's like, we could have literal photo evidence from Jesus could literally come down right now and tell the entire world, hey, I'm real, and people still wouldn't believe.
I would hope they would believe.
You could hope so, but because people don't want to kind of submit to something like that, people will still deny it.
The world genuinely needs to believe right now, especially in this time and age.
Yeah. The book of Revelations is literally unfolding right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
Like, part of me, as much as this may suck to say, part of me is fully believing that the day of judgment is going to happen in our lifetime.
I mean, with the rate the world's going right now, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, just imagine we all wake up tomorrow and there's like, boom, 7 trumpets go off right immediately.
Yeah.
He better wait. I want to get married and have a kid first.
Yeah,
Although, even if it does, it's all right. I'll adopt a little baby in heaven.
Yes. But I mean, like coming in here, I was kind of like, you know, curious to see like what like not really the debate, but like the topics were gonna be about because, you know, when I was younger, like I don't know, maybe 7 to like 12 years old, I was very close to my grandmother, and she was a Christian, like a
Yeah.
heavy Christian.
Yeah.
And I remember she gave me like I want to say it's like a picture Bible, like a picture book Bible thing. I might still have it somewhere around here. Um, but then she unfortunately passed from cancer, like, and man, that's probably been 10 years now.
Yeah.
But I would say after that, I started to like distance myself and not become atheist. I shouldn't say I became atheist, but I wasn't as close to God as I wanted to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I'm 18 now, but as I got, you know,
Same.
like probably I would say around 16 years old, you know, I would start to like believe in him more
Yeah.
and pray more and all that, yeah, all that stuff, etc.
Yeah.
And especially when I don't want to get like too personal. I mean, but I feel like it's
Even
important to
if
the
that's
story,
yeah.
if you don't mind at least.
I
Um,
mean, I just told like the entire server of however many people were in there that I wanted to just completely end everything. So trust me, I do not mind.
yeah, no. Yeah, I've had those points too, but that was a while ago. But anyways, back to the what I was saying. Once my grandmother passed, you know, a couple of years went by. I wasn't like an atheist, but I didn't believe as much. And then I got really close with my grandfather,
Yeah.
and he he didn't believe as much as my grandmother, but he definitely believed, and
Yeah.
he was like the best person like I ever knew. Like he was the nicest guy ever, you know. I remember I would like be in the car with him, and he would feed the homeless. He would do like all of these amazing caring acts, and he was also a police officer.
Yeah.
And um
When my grandpa was a cop
unfortunately,
too.
yeah, it's a great profession. But
My
then
grandpa's boring. Love him though.
but yeah, but then unfortunately, like last year, you know, I mean, I could tell that he wasn't like feeling great. He got extremely skinny over time,
Yeah.
and my parents are big workers. They love to work. As crazy as that sounds, I feel like nobody wants to love to work, but they do. So I kind of became more of his caregiver, I should say.
Yeah.
Um, I took him to all of his chemotherapy appointments, which was, I think, pretty brutal for me, especially kind of like doing it alone
Yeah.
because he was like best person I ever knew, and I literally, and to this day, I want to be just like him.
Yeah.
Um, so as I was going through that, I wanted to get closer to God,
Yeah.
but I wasn't really sure how. Like in my head, like I just felt like I couldn't be accepted because I already left that like I guess phase. I don't really know if that's the right word when my grandmother passed. So I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if I could, you know, come back to it. But when I was going through that with my grandfather, I would definitely pray because I wanted him to be okay.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, I was with him and life happens and unfortunately he passed away.
Yeah.
But I was praying. It was interesting for me because I was praying about, I want to say 20 minutes before he passed, that I wanted him to get better.
Yeah.
And like before he passed, I didn't think I think he had more time. I thought he had more time left in him than he obviously did. So when he passed, it came as kind of like a surprise to me. And obviously, anyone's going to be upset when they lose somebody. So I was pretty upset with the world because of cancer. Parker, you don't gotta stay, bro. Like I'm just explaining my story, that's all.
No, we're just discussing. Like, he was here before you were. You can wait your turn.
Like, I mean, if you were here and I said that, I'm sure you wouldn't feel great either. Just saying. But anyways, I took it when he passed and I was praying that, he was going to a better place and that the way he was going to get better was for him to go to heaven, you know?
Yeah.
And so from then on, I started to believe more and more, and I wanted to understand Christianity better than I did when I was like 10 years old. Because at 10 years old, I wasn't very, I was naive and young, and I didn't really understand much. So yeah, and then that's kind of how I got to this point.
Yeah.
And joined here because I just wanted to, learn more, which is good because I mean, you clearly know a lot, so it's definitely helpful.
Yeah. Did your grandpa like fishing?
No, I don't think he did.
I would say he could be fishing with my grandpa in heaven right now.
I mean, if he did, I didn't know about it, but
Well, maybe he did, hopefully. If he liked
yeah.
horses, there's horses up there that I owned.
Yeah, he did. He did like horses.
Well, boom, he could be riding my little horse right there. Bring some light to the situation.
Yeah.
I always view, because even if I was, well, even when I wasn't Christian, I kind of viewed death as, and this might seem kind of crazy, I know, to a lot of people. I viewed death as something that was beautiful. I viewed it as a way, because even as an atheist, I kind of was a little bit spiritual, so I kind of believed like there's stuff after death. But I believed that, death and stuff was not really something to just kind of mourn over. Like, yeah, it's obviously sad. You're going to grieve. You're going to mourn, all this kind of stuff. But I always viewed it as a way that they're just crossing a little rainbow bridge,
Yeah. Yeah.
How I understood it.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I mean,
just spamming emojis, like, calm down, buddy.
no, I mean, it's all good. People are going to be like that. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't got to stay if they don't want to. It's just,
Jesus loves ya. You want here? Wait, I have a soundboard for this.
Get ready to receive some Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
W soundboard.
Real. I have a lot of them. Okay, I'm gonna let Parker up now.
Yeah.
Yo,
Hi.
what's up, guys?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. So I do have a question, though.
Okay.
do you believe Jesus or not Jesus? Do you believe God is real, or do you like have faith God is real?
I believe God is real.
So you don't have any like proof he's real.
Well, there is a couple factors of proof.
But like actual evidence.
Yeah, we have the Shroud of Turin.
The what?
The Shroud of Turin, a literal image of Jesus after the crucifixion while he was in his tomb that proves the resurrection.
Well, no, I definitely believe that Jesus is real, but I necessarily don't think God and the Christianity itself is real.
Well, if Jesus is real and, you know, was resurrected from the dead and all this kind of stuff and did the miracles he did, which we have documents for, then that would prove that God is real because Jesus is God.
But you're saying that he's resurrected. Like, how do you have proof that he rose from the dead or anything like that? There's no proof of any of that.
The Shroud of Turin.
The what?
The Shroud of Turin.
But how does that prove directly that God is real?
Let me grab my notebook. I have 5 main factors of evidence for this. Sorry, I have them written down, so if it sounds like I'm reading off of like AI or anything like that, I'm not. I have my
No, it's good.
I have my notebook. I promise. So the 5th one would be irreproducible. So the Shroud of Turin is completely irreproducible with modern technology. Every single attempt at recreating the shroud has failed. Supernatural bursts of light. So researchers estimate that around 34 trillion watts of light had to burst at the blink of an eye to engrave even the smallest image on this shroud. The blood is still red after 2,000 years. So the blood on the shroud is still red to this day, which is physically impossible because normal blood will turn rusty or brown after about 1 to 2 days. Number 2 would be it's completely unexplainable. No scientist or researcher has a plausible explanation as to how this artifact was created. The only viable answer after hundreds upon thousands of years is that it is of the supernatural. And then the official 1st century dating, so a wax study in 2022, proves the Shroud of Turin to date back to the 1st century by testing its degradation period to another 1st century cloth, and it was a match.
But all you're proving right there is that there is a higher up and there is another type of, like, I guess, supernatural in your words, but that doesn't exactly prove that the Bible and the Christianity itself is real. Because I do 100% agree that, yeah, like what he's saying in chat, you can't prove he doesn't exist neither. So you can't prove he doesn't exist, neither can you prove he does exist. So either way, you're stuck in the middle ground of like believing something that you're like, of course, Christianity is about faith and you're putting your faith into something, but you can't prove directly that it's real. You're just stating things that happen supernaturally, if that makes sense.
No, because we can also look at the factor, because yeah, there's not going to be full 100% proof. It's not like Jesus is just coming down saying, hey, I'm real to the entire world. It's not something like that. It's stuff that we are still actively researching about. So wait, I don't have whiteboard enabled. Imagine like a big circle right now. Just imagine a little circle, okay? And how much, and that is all of the knowledge that we as humans are able to comprehend, that we, all of the knowledge that is available to us out of the entire universe. How much of that do you think we know?
Not a lot. We only have a certain level of consciousness and a certain level of information we can obtain because of who we are. We're humans, you know what I mean? So I mean, we're no different than your pet dog. We just have a higher level of consciousness. Yeah. So if anything, if we have a religion, let's say, then that would mean it would be the same religion for all animals, but only we can comprehend that. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so it would be about 0.3% of knowledge that we know, okay, out of that entire thing. So out of that entire circle, all of the knowledge ever recorded for the entire universe, galaxy, everything like that, okay, you're telling me there could be. So, and I'm not saying this as a way to like diminish atheism or anything like that. I may be Christian. I don't mind what other people believe. But for that mere factor, we have this evidence, but we are still finding out new things every single day. So we don't have 100% evidence at this current moment, but we have factors. And for the Bible, I have my reasons as to why I fully believe the Bible is real. We have 25,000 manuscripts of evidence specifically for the Bible. The Bible is literally compiled of eyewitness testimonies, people who met Jesus, walked by. Sorry, I'm sick right now.
No, you're good.
Walked hand in hand with him, saw the miracles he did, and saw all this kind of stuff. And we have outside of biblical sources for this. We have historical, archaeological, theological, philosophical, some aspects of scientific evidence, all this kind of stuff.
Well, you're stating
Yes.
the Bible, but the Bible's also been translated over hundreds of times. So it's like you're really believing a book that was written 2,000 years ago. Yeah, maybe by eyewitnesses of Jesus himself, which is a real person that I believe, but it's also been translated. It's also been interpreted, and also there's also other religions that have books or symbols like the Bible that's also, I guess you want to call eyewitness testimonies as well for other religions. So what makes Christianity so much more, I guess, believable than any other religion, in your opinion?
Sorry. So the reason why, and yes, the Bible has been translated. To put this into perspective, it being translated does not change the fact of the original scripture, because we have a lot of the original scriptures. We have manuscripts dating back to the 1st century. We have manuscripts dating back that predate Jesus. We have, the original Greek. We have the original Hebrew, all this kind of stuff. I actually have a copy of the original Hebrew from the Dead Sea Scrolls that affirms the Old Testament of the Bible, that is almost word for word for the Old Testament of the Bible, that has not been translated once to English, which I'm still studying that into. Exactly word for word, the exact same. Nothing has been changed. Yes, the translation is different, but there's some words that exist in.
How do you know that? Like, how do you know for a fact that these are the original documents or whatever? Like, how do you know for a fact that that is correct, and why do you believe that?
Because we have manuscripts, we have carbon dating, we have all this kind of stuff. Same thing with the Shroud of Turin, how it was carbon dated back to the 1st century by testing the degradation period. So when it comes to the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls were not, I'm not going to say found, but from the moment that they were carbon dated back to, which is the furthest that they were able to carbon date it back to, was 200 to 300 years before Jesus for the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls, when they are translated into English, they are word for word for the Old Testaments that we have today, when we look at the actual factors that we have for the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, so I have a version of the Bible. It's
also, no, I don't mean to cut you off, but a lot of things that you're bringing up and a lot of points you're making are very, like, I guess, like Christianity based, that I don't really have that much information of. So you're like saying Dead Sea Scrolls, like I have no idea what that is. Like, I need like almost like a scientific point. You're like, I need to hear, like, everything you're bringing up is religious standpoint. It's not like a scientific answer to why.
Fairly religious. It's archaeological and historical. So we have many factors. We have historical, archaeological, theological, philosophical, and scientific. The scientific evidence is still being studied on, because science actually affirms a lot of Christianity, such as on the day of crucifixion, it was the exact same biblical description that NASA has uncovered. And, the way that, the moon turned to blood and all this kind of stuff was actually uncovered by NASA and proven to be true. So a lot of biblical descriptions have been perfectly found and, affirmed by science.
Well, why is it not a scientific fact that God is real? And why is it not a fact? Why is it just a belief? Like, why do you believe in him? Why don't you know for a fact he's real if you have all these
100% knowledge on absolutely everything in the entire world?
I'm not saying that you don't, but so far, based off the human information that our humanity has gathered, we have understood that God is scientifically not real.
But you can't disprove God using science.
I'm
There's
not
no
saying
way.
I'm not saying I can disprove him. I'm just saying that you can't prove him.
We,
Because I
we,
believe that I can't prove that he's not real, but I also can't prove that he is.
we have these things where, yes, we can, have evidence for things, but it's not going to be 100% proof due to the fact that we don't know absolutely everything. Okay? We can look at different factors of evidence. Like, I could ask you right now, how do you know that Julius Caesar was a real person who fought in the Gallic War if science doesn't affirm that? But you can look at little factors of evidence that science can affirm, such as it matching the perfect description that's mentioned in the manuscripts that we have for Julius Caesar. So Christians don't look only on blind faith. We also look at evidence that we have to prove these events. Okay, we can look at the teleological argument, which is the fine-tuning argument, proven by atheists. So atheist scientist Sir Roger Penrose, who calculated the probability of the universe having this precise of a design being 10 billion to the 123rd power, which is a number we humans cannot even comprehend. Or we can look at atheist scientist Stephen Hawking, who stated in his book, The Brief History of Time, which I actually have a copy of, that at the moment of the Big Bang, if the expansion rate of the universe was different by even 1/100,000 millionth of a percent, that the universe would collapse back in on itself. So our existence alone being a 400 trillion to 1 odd, that happening just by probability from a ball of, energy and matter coming together, producing enough heat and radiation to explode into absolutely everything and us being at this perfect point in the universe, that doesn't just happen by chance.
Well, anything's chance.
Anything could be chance, and
Just how there's a chance God is real and there's a chance that he's not.
Yeah, and that, that may be a part of your beliefs, and that's fine. You're entitled to your own beliefs. I'm not trying to diminish that whatsoever. But basing off of my worldview and how I kind of view things when I look at science or I look at history or, archaeological standpoints, I kind of understand things on a different level because I am a Christian. I believe wholeheartedly that Jesus Christ is the one true living God. So there's going to be things that point towards Christianity being the one true religion. You can't really say that much for other religions. Islam, for example, is very easy to disprove. Buddhism is more of just a spirituality thing. It's, there's no way to...
It's very easy to disprove, but what makes it so easy to disprove?
Well, it doesn't align perfectly with history. It's
same thing with Christianity. Nothing aligns with history because history is all just dated, words that people just put down. For example, the Constitution. The Constitution wasn't even written by the founding fathers, and that wasn't even brought out till years later.
No, not what I mean by history. I'm not just meaning writings and stuff. Talking historical events.
That's 90% of what you're bringing up is historical writings.
Not necessarily. I'm bringing those up because those are the evidence that we have to this day that we have uncovered and are now in the museums and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Evidence that can't be solely. You can't solely believe on them 100% because, like I said, history isn't everything that we learned in history isn't 100% true. So how do you can't? It's not 100% true what your historical writings are neither.
A lot of things are in history are 100% true, especially when you have evidence and historical findings basing off of those. If we look at, somebody could sit here and they could say the Second World War never happened, even though we have the bullet casings, we have, evidence that it did happen using historical structures.
Yeah, but that's a physical event. Where I'm talking about
physical events from the Bible that have been uncovered perfectly in the description the Bible had them in.
Okay, but also the Bible was 2,000. The Bible was written almost 2,000 years ago. So the World War II was only what couple years back. It's not that hard to prove something that was a couple years back versus over 2,000 years ago.
Julius Caesar. Is there any?
Do you think we came from monkeys?
No.
How do you think humans evolved?
I believe
like every animal. I mean, we're just an animal like every other animal.
I don't believe in macroevolution. I believe in microevolution. So I believe that humans were already here, that we, evolved from different, like Nephilim, stuff like this. We evolved from people who, and yes, we do have similar bone structure. Evolution has not been 100% proven though. Macroevolution.
Evolution has been 100% proven with other animals. Why is it not 100% proven with us?
Because other animals are easy to kind of evolve into. If you have, you know, we can prove that dinosaurs evolved into lizards. We can prove this kind of stuff. We can prove that, you know, a capybara, you know, used to be this massive, amazing, you know, big old creature during the dinosaur and the Jurassic era.
And how do we prove that?
Because of evidence. We have bones, we have all this kind of stuff that have been carbon dated.
And we have the same evidence for humans. So why don't you believe that humans evolved, but you believe dinosaurs evolved to lizards?
Because of the factor that humans cannot 100% be proven that we evolved from apes. We cannot
but it's
prove
proven that we used to have a tailbone and we used to have a tail. That's proven.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
So
that
obviously
still doesn't
we evolved because we don't have tails anymore.
Yeah, that's not macroevolution. Macroevolution is pretty much where we evolved literally just straight up from apes.
Well, yeah,
we evolved
it's a
straight
slow
from-
process, but you don't think we started as apes or some type of monkey in general?
The way that the whole macroevolution process goes when it comes to humans, we were little tadpoles, evolved into fish, then the fish grew legs, then we turned into apes, then we turned into humans. That's how the whole process goes. So if you look at that, that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, it's a slow process and all this kind of stuff. And as some,
So you believe we came from tadpoles?
no,
You just said that.
no, I said that's how the whole process of macroevolution goes.
And you said you believe in macro or you believe in micro?
I believe in microevolution. So I believe, sure, 2 million years ago we could have had tails, but that doesn't mean that we still weren't humans. That doesn't mean we were apes or anything like that. It just simply means we could have had these differences and all this kind of stuff, such as, like the Bible describes, people being 900 years old, 12 feet tall, all this kind of stuff, and then the flood happens, and then, you know, now we're max 7 foot, you know, no tails, no nothing like this. You know, microevolution, yeah, we could have had tails. I don't diminish that. So that, having tails, having a tailbone, certain bone structures that may align with animals.
So you think 2 million years ago we would still be considered a homo sapien?
Yeah,
Okay, well, I would have to disagree with you right there.
but science.
Which is okay.
You're right. So it's more of the factor. It's different perspectives. We have proof for both micro and macroevolution, but not 100% proof that we evolved from apes.
All right, it was fun. I'm about to go to sleep. My girl's tired. I'll get Zora here.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, later.
Bye.
This is funny, Davey.
I thought Zor was.
I don't know what Zoe's trying to say.
I thought he literally said he was like a Christian. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I've studied into science. I've studied into history. Like, I don't know, bro. He left. Sorry, Parker.
I mean, I'm honestly pretty fascinated right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I know a lot of random things just from studying. I was a big science nerd, so I kind of know a lot deeper into, especially evolution. I looked a lot into evolution. I looked a lot into cosmological things. I've looked a lot
See you,
into.
Parker.
Oh, good night, Parker. Yeah, I looked into a lot of different things. History, I'm still studying so much into history. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's good.
Yeah.
Do you go to like college or anything, or?
Nope. I'm still in high school. I'm 18 years old and I graduate May 23rd.
Oh wait, you're still in high school at 18?
Yeah, my birthday was 10 days after registration date, so I had to wait an extra year.
I was
Cool.
about to say.
Yeah, pretty
I was like, cause I'm 18 and I'm done my freshman year of college.
Yeah,
I
not
was about to,
me.
s- I
But
was
I'm
about to
also
say.
so.
I
Sorry, you
graduate
cut out
soon.
there.
I'm 17. I'm about to graduate.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm 2008, so
Okay.
understandable. But
Where are you from? Are you from like?
I'm
Are you
Canadian.
from the States?
No,
Oh,
I'm Canadian. I know a lot of random stuff about the U.S. politics, though.
huh.
I kind
I
of,
was about to say like. Sorry, you go. I didn't mean to cut you off.
it's okay. I have my moments where I'll go on to like 4 hour long deep dives just into random things I hear on social media because I want to educate myself. So I know so many random things about U.S. politics.
Yeah, I mean that's good.
Yeah,
What time is it for you? Because I was curious.
it's 1:26 in the morning, and I have to be up at 6 in the morning.
Oh, geez. Because I was like, it's 3:30 a.m. for me, and I was like, I am surprised you're debating this good still at 3:30 a.m. But I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah, it's only 1:27 now, but I don't know. I probably should sleep, considering the fact that I have to be awake at 6.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
But I was sick all weekend. Like I lost my voice all weekend, so I couldn't debate or anything like that. And I saw all my friends debating, and I was just like, I want to join, but I couldn't because I had no voice.
Do
So now
you
that
usually debate on here?
I debate like every single day.
Oh, wow. This is only like my third day on this game. I didn't even know this game existed until a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm usually on the 18 plus one because then I don't have to deal with little kids.
Isn't this the 18 plus one, or am I tripping?
Is this 18 plus?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, so I guess I am on the 18 plus one.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought because I joined Chance. I don't know if you know who that. He was a different guy, but I'm friends with him. So I joined him, and usually he's playing the normal one.
Hmm.
That's why I thought that I was on the normal one.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm probably gonna go to sleep, guys.
Yeah, that's valid.
I'm about to wrap up my stream soon.
Alrighty,
WASMR.
real. Well, good night, guys. Wait, who wants host?
I don't know. Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna go to sleep too. Low key, it's 3:30.
Hey GB, do you want the host?
GB can make the server whatever they want.
Right. Well, anyways, good night, guys. God bless.
Good night. God bless.
And bye, stream. Whoever the stream is streaming, if they're still streaming. Good night.
I'm about to outro.
Okay. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yo, chat, I'm about to dip, chat. I'm about to dip. I'm tired as fuck. I'm just getting outro song real quick.
living in the dark, lying on its side. The ruins of the day, painted with a scar. And the more I straighten out, the less it wants to try. The feelings start to rot, one week at a time. Oh, forgiving who you are for what you said again. Just know that if you hide, it doesn't go away. When you get out of bed, don't end up straight and horrified with each stone on the stage, my little dark age. Picking through the cards, knowing what's nearby. The carvings on the face say they find it hard. And the engines failed again, all limits of the skies. The humor's not the same, coming from now. Oh, I grieve in stereo, the stereo sounds strange. I know that if you hide, it doesn't go away. When you get out of bed, you'll see me standing all alone, open-eyed, but praise my little dark age. Dark age, little dark age. I grieve in stereo, the stereo sounds strange. You know that if it hides, it doesn't go away. If I get out of bed, you'll see me standing all alone, horrified on the stage, my little dark age. Giddy with delight, seeing what's to come. The image of the dead dance in my mind.
Policemen swear to God, blood seeping from the guns. I know my friends and I would probably turn and run. If you get out of bed, come find us at the bridge. Bring us so long, rain, my little dark age. I grieve in stereo, the stereo sounds strange. I know that if you hide, it doesn't go away. If you get out of bed, you'll see me standing all alone, open-eyed, burn face, my little dark age. 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 Stereo sounds strange.